Okay, thank you for coming. And thank you for coming. Hello, everyone. Scott here again. Welcome back to the Guilty Pleasure Cinema, celebrating the movies you're embarrassed to love. In year 5. But I don't know where my dad is. I need to find him. Normally that's period dot, but see, stuff's been going on. The first anniversary had me just kind of showing some cool stuff and ending with a predator fight, and he was there to cheer me on. The second anniversary was more cool stuff and tying into things a little bit more, which we were coming to, and then fighting a Terminator and Scottitor and losing. That wasn't good. But he was there to tell the tale, to show that there would be a year 3, and there was, coming back from the dead, and he's the one who helped me through it, introducing death and being able to overcome the Indicator and save the day. And then year 4 was the year of adventure, a rousing, it wasn't a rousing success. Things happened and things changed, but the 100th episode was the 4th anniversary, and it was the celebration with everyone nearly involved, but nearly, because he wasn't there. And I don't know what happened. So I need someone's help to find him. And that's why I'm here. Yes, I understand you're looking for someone. I will find him. Yes, your card says, this is paper. So I need a test here. I'm looking for Superman. I will find him. Yeah, but I'm looking for him in live-action movies. I will find him. Well, okay, but here's the deal. The evidence about him is interesting. Because we all know about the origins, like way back, original stuff. It was the government. Part of the government involved. And he came out and was there. It's part of this. This is him. He was there in the government, and then 4 times. 5 if you count the director getting his proper due. But then he was gone for a while. And then someone else came along. And it was weird because he tried to say he was still him. He tried to say that he was the one we all know and love. He tried to say that he was the same one. He even said, ignore the ones you didn't like. Don't worry about those. Just keep the ones you do like. The first one. Kind of the second one, too. That's where Zod was. You know Zod. Yeah, I know you do. It was awkward. It was weird. He didn't really do anything. Just kind of showed up. Floated around all creepy-like. Had a giant rock. He didn't even throw a punch. And he's telling us he's the real one. He's returned. I'm not buying it. And not a lot did, because after a while, some new guy showed up. I will find him. Yeah, I know you will, because it's this one, Man of Steel. Yeah, see, we got this on this planet, lenticular cover. You're on one. This comes along and says, you know what, that last one? Don't worry about that either. No, I'm the real deal. I'm super... let's not name names. We do start right from scratch. Let's talk about the people around him. Dances with Wolves is his dad. People hate on him when he's waterworlding or postmanning, but at times he's mostly good. Diane Lane is his mom, Stallone's Judge Hershey. Lawrence Fishburne, kinda wasted as the Daily Planet's Perry White. And the awesome Amy Adams as Lois Lane, and yes, red hair. But so what? Hers is a great take on the character and brings legitimacy to everything. She's great and actually investigated successfully to figure out who the heck Superman really is. That's awesome! That actually shows that this whole concept is silly if someone actually applies to it, which she did. Now, problem is, all these characters turn into just stock caricatures as the movie goes along, plot devising their way to make things happen. There is a cool moment where a soldier tries to knife fight the one Kryptonian girl. That was neat, but we don't get enough moments like that. Those bad guys were alright. There's the big faceless bruiser, that super awesome Feora, and Mr. Overactor himself. I will find him! Yeah, that.
I am the bat. I come to you from a far-off place. to talk about Faora, an idiotic character, despite being one of the best in the movie. She claims that Superman's compassion for the weaker beings gives them an evolutionary advantage over him, and, in her words, as history has shown, evolution always wins. And yet, Kryptonians have warrior classes, bred and raised from birth to be specific things, not embracing evolution whatsoever, doing the exact opposite, or at least a designer version. That makes no sense, and when she's about to have an amazing moment with a knife fight, she's taken out by the religious super god Jesus.
Clark Kal-El Superman Henry Cavill himself, though, he's good, but stuck in a wooden box with what he was able to do. He has the look and right feel for the part, both the one we know and this Snyder version. What I mean by that is that this one's all over the map in telling us who he is. It makes sure to go out there and tell us all the stuff we know really on the nose, but then also blurts out stuff that we didn't ask about, or don't even expect, or get interested in once it's there, and it's all really disjointed, and it's kind of lost in itself in telling us who itself is. It's kind of a mess. Everything seems close, as if someone had heard about this and decided, I know what that is, and tried to make it, but when push comes to shove, everything doesn't really line up. Jesus. No, really, Jesus. This super god complex. He's like this god amongst men. However, he's raised by simple Kansas farmers from birth, basically. It's like, he's here, and then he's put in his thing in here, and now he's being raised. He has no concept of anything outside of the man he's raised to be. So when we get him questioning his morals, wondering if humanity's even worth it, we have his parents to blame. And I never would have ever said that in any Superman situation whatsoever, even Red Son, where he's raised in Soviet Russia, until now. Because his parents in this are horrible, horrible people. At one point, he saves a busload of kids in school from drowning because it would expose him to everyone. His dad says, maybe you should have let him die. What? He seriously offers that up as if it's an actual possibility of a good thing to do. Instead of, this godlike alien being an amazing human inside because of how he was raised. He's the most human of them all, and yet he's so far above them. He never lords himself over things. He's a simple Kansas farm boy. This movie remembers that, but says, yeah, but he's also a god amongst men. That would be an existential crisis. And apparently, they're right. That's wrong. The movie touches on it, but he lashes onto it in ways that make no sense. Speaking of making no sense, Zod. Everything about him, everything, makes no sense. Even Superman's plan B to stop him, which is basically punching him a lot, and over and over and over. That's it. And there are casualties. Of course there would be. It's a sudden fight between two super beings like the world has never seen before, or so we thought. But, of course there's casualties. It happens so fast, there's no way for anybody to react. Okay, that makes sense. He's an immediate threat that needs to be dealt with right now. And the person who's going to do it is an inexperienced super god, poorly raised to be questioning the value of life. No wonder this happened the way it did.
That goes to the point of Zod himself, saying that you've killed my soul, you've taken everything from me. The only way this ends is if I die or you die. Now, we kind of already knew that. We don't need to be told everything. This movie doesn't give us enough credit whatsoever. And yet, does have plenty of great moments, well thought out fight scenes, even if they are idiotic in some execution. With carelessness, Superman sidestepping something instead of stopping it from exploding.
He doesn't want to eliminate the one bit of his actual alien heritage, even if he's attempting human genocide by terraforming Earth. Terraforming Earth. And yet that's not something strong enough to get him to go to extreme means to stop Zod. But 4 randoms in a terminal, that'll do it. Now, Lois is a definite damsel in distress, if there ever was one, and very much so in this movie, up to this climax point. So she would have been perfect for that. Literally, there's 4 random people in a terminal. Zod's got his heat beams, and he's going to kill them. He's doing this, and he could have covered whatever. He's going to do it, and it's going closer, so Superman breaks his neck. And then Lois comes down the stairs when Superman yells out, "No!" Because Zod won? He made him kill? That's Joker's thing. That wasn't Zod's thing. He's upset that he just ended the last thing of a Kryptonian link to learn who he is. You know who he is? He is the son of a Kansas farmer. 6th generation Kent. That's who he is. And yet, what he is a Kryptonian alien with superpowers thanks to the Yellow Sun. And yet, he's upset that he had to break the neck and kill this man, who was literally trying to kill him and terraform the Earth, ending humanity. What he knows he isn't, but is all he knows. I'd have bought it if Lois was the one he was threatening to kill, and she showed up minutes later. Why not just have her be the one? Instead, she comes in immediately afterward to console him over being too dumb and poorly raised to come up with something other than the easy way out to stop a murderous, genocidal psychopath. And those extreme means is he kills. He kills Zod. You're fine now. But he breaks his neck. He kills him. Superman doesn't kill. And yet, the angle here is that now that he's killed, he vows never to do so again, knowing the value of life. I'm sorry, but I don't need to kill to know that killing is a bad thing. Apparently, this guy's so dumb and so poorly raised by these idiot Kansas farmers that he literally doesn't realize that this was a thing that he shouldn't have done. He should have been more patient and tried to find another way to stop him. But nope, killed him. Oh no, what have I done? Oh, don't get me started. Why terraform? Okay, you want it to be like Krypton. I get it. You want it to be like Krypton because that's where you're from. But you're here on Earth where you are superpowered like Superman. You can fly, you're invulnerable, you have heat vision, you're super strong, you're super fast. None of these things were things you had on your home planet. Okay? You're here, and thanks to that yellow sun, you have them. Now, you don't want your fellow Kryptonians to go through that struggle that Clark had to go through, learning and physically upset and painful, and all those years of adapting to be this. And yet, the moment you do, when your mask thing's broken, you are able to adapt and power through it thanks to your focus and intense mental training as a warrior. Yeah, warrior class. That's a thing. There's classes on Krypton. Let's not forget that, okay? Russell Crowe told us that. So, you're part of a warrior class, and you are able to just amazingly get through that and not have to worry about the years of suffering and pain and hardship, and can basically be a god on this planet. And you and your other warrior class Kryptonians, which is all you have, because that's all that's left. See, all that's left from Krypton is the ship that took Kal-El there, and then the prison ship with the guys that attempted the coup, a bunch of warriors. Because there's like scientist ones and warrior ones and stuff. These were warrior ones put on a ship, and then Krypton blew up, and they just kind of floated and eventually came back. And they were able to retrofit the ship to have a warp drive to follow after and track him. I don't know how they did that. They're not scientist class, they're warrior class. So your warrior class, able to do science, maybe you had scouting stuff and tracking stuff and able to adapt as warriors. Maybe. But you retrofitted a hyperdrive. I don't care how good a policeman is. If he's not also knowing how to work with engines, he can't fix that. He's a police class, not an engine class. Okay? Some do both, but you literally don't allow it. They're bred. There's like these weird bulbous tube things that you have the Kryptonian babies in, and they're bred from birth for that. He's this, he's this, he's this. Okay? Your warrior, you can't do that. None of your dudes can do that. Oh, and by the way, your warrior, you can power through this with your awesome training. So can all of they. So how come you want to get rid of this thing that would literally make you on this new home planet you're going to take over and kill all humanity with? Why would you want to terraform that to make it Kryptonian-like and literally just be normal like the humans are on Earth, where you're normal on Krypton? Why would you not want to have it where any other race that comes around gets smacked around by the godlike Superman of Earth? Why would you give that up? What insane warrior would give up the ultimate perfect military advantage? Radical fanaticals. See, I get it. If ISIS came over and just blew up Toronto to say, we hate all this blasphemous technology and stuff, we're not going to use any of this, and settled, that's this. That's that. That's what you're doing. You're so set in your ways for the purity of Krypton that you want to eliminate anything not Krypton and make it be Krypton. Like, to a fault. Because you're stupid like Kansas farmers. And Kansas farmers are not stupid. I'm talking about the Kents. They're stupid in this. Right? So what's so great about Krypton? It's this Avatar John Carter looking world with Russell Crowe, who's in the movie far too little. He's Jor-El. He's awesome in this. But of course, he can't be in the movie any more than that. He's Jor-El. He has to die on Krypton. But he's got this cool AI avatar looking thing that helps out Amy Adams. Sadly not in the sequel. But he's cool. He's awesome. And some people like that Kryptonian bit better than anything else in the movie. I don't, but it's neat and cool to see, but it's still too John Carter avatar-y for what it is. Why do you want that? Why don't you want to be the Superman of Earth? Stupid.
This is filled with idiotic moments squandered, like the fight in Smallville happening between Superman, the military, and the evil Kryptonians. The Kryptonians leave, and the military stares down at Superman, constantly going, all clear, all clear, all clear. And then when they come across Superman himself, instead of saying all clear, doing an awesome moment, turning the tide from enemy to friendly. As they engaged him, they freely fought against him, shooting him, exploding, everything. Now, by saying all clear, the symbolism is clearly there, showing that this man is not our enemy. Instead, the general says, literally that, this man is not our enemy. Subtlety is not this movie's strong point.
I mean, let's not forget, this movie's afraid to call itself Superman. It's afraid to call him Superman. It's thrown it there once. And, I mean, Zack Snyder is involved here. We can't forget his legacy. Yeah. And 300 and Dawn of the Dead and Legend of the Guardians. But the reason this movie's made the way it is this. Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah. This one came along and was successful enough, they said, let's make this one dark. Why are you making Superman dark? Like, in any way. He's the Man of Steel. He's the Boy Scout in red and blue. He's a ray of hope and sunshine. Literally. He's powered by the sun. He is physically the embodiment of a ray of hope. And yet this movie is tonally dark and literally dark. It's dreary and drab and muddy. Someone did a colorization based on the Reeve movies to this, and it just perks you up a bit. It's, yeah. Picture being in a drab environment for 2 hours. But then picture a splash of color in there, and it psychologically brings you up a little bit. This doesn't have that color. For as dark and tonally off this is, The Passion of the Christ is a brighter movie. Almost in both ways. and the passion of the Superman is right with all the Jesus imagery, the super god.
There's flaws. I'll be back. You'll see soon.
There's some good stuff in here. It's a hard one to recommend, but there's a lot of good stuff in here. There's a lot of bad stuff in here. There are cases of CGI man in this movie on par with Daredevil, which is one of the worst blatant cases I've seen. And it doesn't mesh right. It doesn't go together right. It's got a great cast with nothing to do. It's got a good music score, but nothing noteworthy. It doesn't feel like Superman. So, really, can you find him? I will! Never mind. What? Batman found him. Batman? Of course. The Dark Knight Detective. I'll ask him too. Thank you. I know what I need to do next. I will find him! Yeah. Now, join me for that, and remember, you shouldn't feel guilty about it if it's a movie you love. So that's Superman. I need to find my dad. I will find him! You will find him, I know, that's your thing. That's why I came here. I will find him! I should hope so, it's all you've really got at this point. I will find him. How, though? Warrior classes aren't exactly searcher types. Or is that a tracking thing? I will find him. Well, finding others doesn't do anybody any good, since my dad is the one I want you to find. Finding the wrong person proves you wrong and makes me upset. I will find him. I will find him! I will find him! Stop saying that and go look. I will find him!